Somebody here?
This horror mirrors its name. It's chilling.
We have to come this way! Someone's down! I'm not going back!
Before I begin the walkthrough, the recap, or the review, I must say the script has been written ingeniously by the writer who is also the director, Zach Cregger. There are so many tiny details throughout the movie. These are the dots which connect all the sequences together to maintain its suspense and the thrill and to complete the story. This is simply brilliant. I've been planning to make a review on this movie for months. Maybe this is the time now. So let's ride. I'm Zach Sipra and welcome to another episode on the shocking mystery on the mirror. So it's pouring rain in Burberry, Brightmoor. It's 11:15 p.m. There's a jeep stops by in front of Airbnb 476, and remember this is pouring rain. As I mentioned, do not miss any tiny detail when you watch this movie. I try to remember all the tiny details and present to you at my best. So she pulls out her email through her cell phone. She booked this house a month ago. Tomorrow is a very important day for her. So she is reading the instructions how to get inside this house. And there is all the instructions. Now it says the time she booked this Airbnb, and then there's a lockbox on the porch, and there's a passcode. She will give the passcode, open the lockbox, there is a key inside, and according to the instructions there is only one copy, so that's why she has to carry this key all the time with herself wherever she goes. And during she is feeding all this information in her brain, there's a Mr. Marcus calls her. She rejects his call and then steps out of the vehicle, opens the back door, gets her luggage and the bag, closes the door, steps on the porch. She puts her luggage on the right hand side, throws her bag on the floor and injects the passcode. Obviously it's a wrong password because she was alert, she was confused, she was a little bit scared. So twice a time she inputs the passcode and she becomes a little bit frustrated. She pulls her email again. Mr. Marcus calls her again. Now this time she is a little bit angry. Even she says just go away and rejects his call. She reads the instructions again. Oh, this is not 8113 what she had been repeating while she was coming out of the vehicle. So this is 8331. So she inputs 8331 and the lockbox opens it, but there's no any key. Now she is angry. She pulls her phone, she calls the management and tells them, hey, I'm in the town and I'm in Burberry 476. I'm on the porch, it's pouring rain and there's no key in the lockbox. Could you please call me back on this number? Thank you. Having all these thoughts, she's thinking what to do, and then she realizes where she is standing. Actually, this is a very scary place. She scans the area. Now there is a pan view, like a panorama. This is a camera panning to show the audience as well. It is pretty scary. Midnight, nobody is there, and the area is itself scary. So she gets inside her vehicle And she's thinking. She grabs her key, and suddenly she notices some flickering on her left hand side. She turns left, and she sees there is somebody turns on the light inside the house, and there is a man standing there. And she gets out of the vehicle, steps on the porch, and then she rings the doorbell. Man comes out, and he is half awake, half sleeping, and then she says yes. And she is confused, and she says, I'm sorry, who are you? And he says, who are you? And is it 476 Barbary? And he replies, yes, no, I don't know, maybe. So you don't know? No, I don't live here. I rented this place, and it's the middle of the night. I don't have everything on my head. And she says, I booked this a month ago on Airbnb. So you say, I booked on a home away. And now both of them, they are confused. Remember, it's pouring rain. And he looks outside, and then he scans the area, and he realizes the girl is here, and he confirms her again. He says, hey, are you sure this is the exact address you are here? She says, yes, I opened the logbox. If I can open the logbox, it means I have the correct information. I have these instructions, so I'm on the right spot. So what about the date? Are you sure you're on the right date? And then she pulls out her cell phone, shows to him, and he looks at it, and they say, yeah, it looks right. And then they both think, and she say, what should I do? What would I do? And then he asks her to come inside the house and then think what to do, and then maybe call these idiots. And she said yes, she has already called the management. There's no anybody to receive the call, so she left a message. Anyways, she gets inside the house. So this is the title of Barbarian. As she gets inside the house, and the first thing she asks him, hey, can I use the bathroom? And he says, yeah, there's down the hall and turn left. And then as she's going to walk few steps, she stops there, she turns around, looks at him, who's standing there watching her, and she says, could you please pull out your reservation so I can see? And he replies, do you think I'm some kind of weirdo breaking into the house and sleep here? Yeah, let me get my phone and then I'll show you. She walks towards the bathroom. As she's walking, she's scanning her surrounding. There's an open door of the room, and then she walks to the toilet. She gets into the bathroom, and she realizes there is a travel shower bag and with some items inside it, and there is an electric toothbrush on the floor charging. And then she feels that he is telling the truth. And then after this, she comes out of the bathroom. She gets back to the hallway where she left, and there is no any man. He's gone already. She is a little bit confused, and as she's looking around, he comes from behind, and there is a jump scare, and he shows her the phone. She looks at the phone, the information, and she says, yeah, it looks right to me too. And then as she has already used the bathroom, she says, okay, guess what, I should be leaving now and let you sleep there. And man says, well, I don't feel good, pouring rain, it's midnight, where would you go? What would you do? And she say, yeah, I have my phone, I will make some phone calls, and I will see if there are anywhere else I can get some place to sleep. And he says, why don't you crash here, and then we see what to do. She refuses. No, it's not a good idea. No, I don't think so. And he comes with a proposal. He says, why don't we stay here, both of us? In the morning we call these idiots, we get back our money, free stay for both of us. She kind of liked this idea, and then the next thing is she's sitting on the couch, and he says, "This is the Wi-Fi password, and by the way, I'm Keith." And she says, "I'm Tess. It's a beautiful name. Thanks." And then he gets back to the counter. There is a kitchen counter, and he says, like, "You know what? There is some tea and there is some wine. Some people have left the wine here, and like a home warming thing. And there are some nuts also." She is very much busy focusing on scrolling, browsing if she can find some other hotel or some guest houses, and she even makes a call to somebody, and she asks if there is any room available, and they said, "Sorry, there's not any room available." And then Keith, he comes in front. He said that, "You know what, I just realized there is a convention is going on in the town, some medical things, and I don't think so you can get any room these days." And then she realizes, okay, this is the reason all the guest houses, or maybe all these places are booked already. So she says that, okay, I will get the couch. He said, no, you call me whatever you want, but a pretty girl in this house, and I'll be sleeping in the room and you'll be sleeping in the couch. Though this is not possible, this is out of the discussion. So you sleep in the room and I'll get the couch. And she said, no offense, I prefer the clean sheets. Now the next scene is the washing machine in the laundry room is spinning, so they are cleaning the sheets. And meanwhile, she says, okay, I go to clean up. She goes to clean up, and she finishes all cleaning up, and then she comes back from the shower, and Mr. Keith is sitting on the table with the bottle of wine and then 2 wine cups. He starts to speak non-stop. And you know what I see? I made a tea for you. You didn't drink the tea, and then I thought maybe you like to have wine because the machine will take some time. And meanwhile, what would you do? And then I thought that I opened the bottle, and then I felt this is not good. You should be here. I should open in front of you. I know it's the first time we are meeting, and this doesn't look great, but I'm rambling, and so on, so on. He is non-stop speaking, where she stops him. Okay, I'm good. You go ahead. And then she sits down there, and she realizes it's not that kind of bad person. He looks okay. And then where he asks her, do you mind if I ask you what brought you here? So she says, yeah, there is a job interview. So he asks again, would you mind what kind of job it is? So she replies him, yeah, there's a research position for a documentary, a filmmaker. So he says, okay, so who is the filmmaker? She replies, Catherine James. I don't know her. Is there any work I have seen? So she explains, yeah, last year she made a movie on jazz, Blue Easy. And he replies, oh, I saw that. And she said, no, nobody has seen that movie. Yeah, I saw that. There's children on the rooftop, they're playing Coal Train and those kind of stuff. And say, I don't believe you have seen that movie. So Keith asks her again, what is our next project gonna be? So she says, Detroit, this place. And he asks Detroit music. She says, artists, past 10 years they have been coming here, created the community, those kind of things. And he says, you know what, who you should be the interview in the first place? She said, who? And he replies, me. And I say, why is that? He says, yeah, because I'm one of the guys who are the founder of the Lion Tamer. And she says, no, this is insane. And say, yeah, this is insane. I mean, I'm not the that guy. I'm one of that guys. As they are familiar to each other, she realizes he is okay, and then she also starts to drink wine. And now the washing machine, the sound is already stopped spinning, and there's no any sound anymore. And this is a time, what do we say? What do you say in American English? Make bed, make the bed sheet. So, anyways, he takes a bed sheet and he helps her to make her bed. So there's some way he uses. It's a funny way. Anyway, I'm gonna skip this portion, and then finally, this is a time to say good night. They say good night. They are all very happy, relief, and then he goes outside, and then now this is a detail. This is very clever. When she's very happy, she's relieved, and she says good night, Keith. Good night, Tess. Good night, Keith. She closes the door. She doesn't lock the door, and then she gets to bed. And Mr. Keith is also sleeping. Now it's midnight. Tess has very strong ears. There is a cracking wooden cracking sound. Somebody's walking on the wooden floor. She suddenly realizes somebody's outside walking. She opens her eyes. She's a little bit concerned, scared. When she looks at the door, her door is opened, where she gets scared. And then there is some kind of voice. She hears Keith is making noises, like he is having a nightmare. He gets outside. Remember, when she was sleeping, the door was closed, and now the door was open, and she heard some footstep, cracking sound. And then when she comes out, she faces to Keith. There's another small detail. The camera, she's facing the camera, and the camera projects the whole foreground, the background. And there is a door. There is some kind of basement. The light is on, and the door closes slowly but slowly. And now she doesn't know the door is somebody closes the door and how the door automatically closed itself. She has no idea. She doesn't know anything about that. Her whole focus is on Keith, who is still making noises. She gets close to Keith, and then she tries to wake him up, and then finally she calls his name, Keith. Keith. As he touches him to wake him up, and he what are you doing here?
What are you doing?
And then she say, oh, I'm sorry, I just my door was open and I hear you're making noises. And he say, I was making noises? And then both are confused, and she say, what are you doing here? And then she said, okay, I better go back to sleep. And then finally she wants to confirm. She asks him again, did you open my door? And he said, no. And then, okay, I leave you, I better go back to sleep. Now this time she gets back in her room, closes the door and locks the door, and then she's sleeping. Next is it's already daylight, and then she wakes up, and then the first thing she does, she looks at the door. If the door is open, the door is locked as it is, as she locked the door when she locked it in the midnight after coming back from Keith. Now she looks at the time. The time is because she had to get into the town to meet Catherine James, so she's already late. She gets up in a hurry. She changes, and then as she's going to get out of the house, She finds a note beside the couch on the table, and there's a note. She reads the notes, and then there is a written, please put the key in the lockbox, and I had a great night last night. She smiles and she has kind of relief, and then she gets out of the house. She opens the lockbox and puts the key in the lockbox, and then she closes it, and then she heads to town. She's in town, and there is a big arcade, like a plaza. She meets Catherine there. Catherine comes there, and then they have a chit chat, and then before they leave, Catherine asks her wherever she is living. She said she's living in an Airbnb. She said, great. Where about? She said, in Brightmoor.
You know where that
if you
is?
know that. And she said, what? And then, you shouldn't be living there. Why? It's not safe. No, I'm really serious. You shouldn't be living there. It's not safe. And she says, because there is a convention is going on in the town, and then she couldn't get any place to sleep. So I know this is a very cute small house. I have a roommate. It's kind of complicated. Oh, I guess, but be careful. Seriously. And then she leaves. Now she already got this information from Catherine James, and then she gets back to Airbnb. As she is coming back, she stops the car in the mid-afternoon, and then she stops her Jeep there in front of her house she rented, and then as she's looking and then coming back to the porch, she feels somebody is running towards her, a man. She's calling her widely, hey little girl, stop here, and kind of scares her. She is scared. She's in panic now. She runs to the lockbox. As she has got this information from Catherine, the area is not safe. Now this dude is weird. He's running to her, and then he is yelling. He's screaming to her, stop, don't get into the house. And then she is in panic, opens the lockbox, get the key, and opens the door and gets inside the house, and then she locks, slam, bam, it's closed, and he is out. He's hammering on the door, get out of the house. And then she says, go away. And then where she calls the police, and then she explains everything, whatever happened. The receptionist, or the call attendant, operator, she says, we don't have any unit at this time, and I'm sorry, we can send somebody. We don't have any unit. Are you safe? If you're safe, stay inside. She is frightened. She is terrified, actually, whatever happened. Now she wants to leave. Suddenly she needs to go to the bathroom. Now she goes to bathroom, and then she discovered there is no any tissue rolls. She comes out of the bathroom. She's finding the tissue rolls, and she sees the basement area. The door is open, the light is on. She walks to the basement, and then when she looks down, she finds a tray filled with the tissue rolls. She realizes, okay. She gets down, she grabs one tissue roll. As she's coming up, the door automatically closes and it locks. Now, this is the thrill starts here. It's a midnight. I need this coffee. Oh my god. I have a coffee in my blood. Oh, I don't have blood, I have a coffee in my veins. Anyways, the door is closed, and she's thinking what to do. She's not that scared for her, because the basement area is just a basement. There's no any, it's just a room, there's no any other door, nothing. Sorry. She's sitting on the staircase, she's sitting on the stair steps, and then she wants to reach for her cell phone, and she realizes her cell phone is upstairs on the table, but she has a key. And now she's thinking, if Keith is coming, he doesn't have the key, she has the key. Immediately she grabs, there is a bucket, she grabs that bucket and puts on the side wall, beside the wall. She stands on the bucket. Now she can reach to the window, glass window. Now she can view outside the whole area. Now this is a very important part. She scans the room, she's finding something to open the window or open the door. As she is finding, maybe she can find some tool or anything, her eyesight stops at one point. She starts to gaze something. She feels there is a rope coming there is a hole into the wall, and there is a rope coming out from the wall, and that's very weird. She grabs the rope and then she pulls slowly, and there is a door starts to open it. When the whole door is widely opened and she comes in front of that area, and there is another basement, or there is a door with, it's a pitch black. That is scary. She's standing in front of her and she says, nope, there's no way I'm gonna get inside. Anyway, there is a one mirror. She grabs the mirror, and there's a bulb on the ceiling, and then she tries to make a reflection to inside to drop some light inside the whatever, there's a dungeon or the pathway or the tunnel, whatever you can call it, or maybe another subway. When she puts the light on it, there is a pathway. She goes inside and she finds one room. She gets inside that room. There is a bed with a very dirty mattress, and there is a tripod. On the tripod there is a VHS camera, video camera, very old video camera, and there are some blood hand prints on the wall, which makes her scared. She's very scared, she's frightened, she's terrified. And then Keith comes. Now she runs to the window, and then she knocks the window. He hears, and then he's laughing and says, what are you doing here? She said, hey, I'm locked here, so could you please open this window? Window is stuck there. So he asks her to, you push and I pull. One of them pushes and one of them pulls, so it opens, and she hands over the key to Keith. Now Keith opens the key and opens the basement door for her. She runs up and explains everything. We need to get out of here. There is a dungeon down to the basement, there is a room, and there is a bed, there is a bucket, and there is a camera, and I saw the print on the wall. And Keith is trying to absorb all these informations, and he's trying to create the whole picture. She asks him to get out of here. We cannot stay here. We need to get out of this house now. And then she grabs her bags, her luggage, everything. As she's getting out, Keith stops her. He says that just 20 minutes. Can you wait for 20 minutes? Because I haven't seen what you have told me. You have explained to me. I haven't seen. So could you please let me go downstairs, down in the basement, and I see myself what you're talking about? Just 20 minutes. I'll come up, I promise, and then we can go. And she stays. She said, okay, 20 minutes. Keith, and then he says, in case if I stuck just like you stuck, so I'll be stuck forever. So who will help me to open the door? I'll be very quick, go downstairs. So because what you are talking, I don't feel to be scared, because the basements are made to be like this, to put the trash there. But anyway, I go down and see what you're talking about. She said, okay, 20 minutes, I'll wait for you here. Keith goes downstairs in the basement, and then already 20 seconds, 25 seconds, few minutes, he doesn't come out. Now she starts to get worried. She calls his name, Keith. He doesn't reply. She goes down, and the door is open, and then she yells his name, Keith. And Keith's voice is he is screaming, but it's from long distance, and he says, help. And now she realizes something has gone wrong. She repeatedly calls his name, and then she starts to follow the path. Sometimes he is silent, and then suddenly he yells from the far distance, help me, please, just like he's stuck somewhere. And then she's keep walking to the pathway. There are some cages. In the cages there are some like dog food pans and those kind of things. Just like if you see those things, you will feel that somebody captured humans in those big cages. Maybe she's very scared. She's keep going. She's keep calling his name, and then at one point, and she has gone long way inside, and there are like tunnels, dark pitch black tunnels. When she reaches, and then she hears something is running to her. Now she is scared, and she realizes Keith is walking on his knees, running on his knees. And then he comes there, and then he says, somebody's there, somebody's downstairs, somebody else is living there. And she says, we need to get out of this place. Why you have come down here this far? He says, somebody bit me. What do you mean somebody bit you? We need to get out of here. And he keep insisting her, no, we cannot go that way, we must go this way. As he is yelling, they have an argument for a few seconds. There is one screaming sound running to them, some monster running to Keith and grabs his head and slam to wall. Pow, 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 pow. And she is like frightened, terrified, and then she is looking at that monster. There's a naked, crazy woman, and she has almost killed Keith. Maybe Keith is already dead. And then she screams, and there is a first part of up to this almost 40 minutes of part is finished here, and there's a pitch black. Now, the second part is there's a new character enter in this movie, and that's very interesting. A guy on a highway on the red convertible car, like a Porsche Boxster or something like that, is driving on the highway besides the ocean. And then he is very happy, singing along with the singer, very happy, enjoying the weather, the drive. And this is Mr. AJ Gilbride. He's an actor and very happy, Suddenly he receives a phone call. Somebody connects to his managers. There's a male, female, and they want to talk. They are gonna talk to him something very serious. Now remember, he is very happy, and then suddenly they call. They say, "Okay, we need to discuss something." Okay, what? There are some troubling developments, and he said, "What?" And they explain, Megan has some accusation against you, and the network is taking very seriously. And so, like, what? And and they explain to him, this is that serious. The allegations, the accusations, the investigation will start. And say, why? What happened? And because he knows whatever happened before. And then they say she had an accusations. She said that during the pilot you were sexually aggressive to her. If you are involved in this production, she's not gonna participate anymore. And network is taking it very seriously. And I said, what are you talking about? I even recommended her. I came first and I recommended her. But there is no any chance. Even the more worse, there is another worse thing that is gonna come tomorrow on the Hollywood Reporter about him. Say, what she say? Did she say I raped her? And one of them, she said, yes. She's saying you raped her. And then he stuns for a few seconds. And they say, AJ, are you there? And he said, okay, guys, I call you back. He stops in front of the ocean. This is beautiful. He stops in front of the ocean, the car, and he thinks for a while. And the next scene is he's with his business manager. Now, because this gonna be investigation, the old court file, lawsuit, blah blah blah, those kind of thing, he is with the manager, and the manager tells him that he has nothing and he is going zero. He is not strong. And some of the properties in Detroit, Michigan, but that is not enough for him. And the bottom line is, he says, you know what, AJ, at the end of the week, I'm going to hand over your file. Cool. What does it mean? I would suggest you should find some alternative financial business management. And he said, wow, are you dropping me too? And then he decides to go to Detroit, Michigan, because he has some hot properties there and he wants to sell, and then he wants to fight whatever he's facing, the allegations or these accusations. Now he is in Detroit. He calls Robert, his manager, and then he talks to him. He asks him, okay, wait, I'm in the rental. He gets into the car, and then he requests him, hey, how about if I can talk to Megan myself? And he said, absolutely not. This is not a good idea. As you would talk more to Megan, you will create more trouble. It will become more worse. There is no any chance you're going to talk. Everything from now on will go through us. And by the way, what were you talking about? Rental? What rental? He said, I'm Detroit in Michigan. AJ, you're not supposed to be there. And he says, well, are they going to arrest me? I'm not under arrest and I'm allowed to travel. And he says, well, there's some distinct possibility that you will be under arrest. And he says, I'm not fooling around, not a lamb, unless you are taking me as a pro bono. The next scene, he is going to visit his property to get the keys of his property, or Bonnie Realtors, this kind of property management. and he tells the receptionist, okay, I'm here to get my key. And she said, oh, okay, Bonnie told me you were coming back. She hands over him the key and she say 476 Barbary. And the next thing is, now Tess and Keith, they are already inside those tunnel. Nobody knows what is happening to them. And now AJ also come. This is his property. Now he wants to sell this property, and he comes inside. The first thing he notices, there is a basement light is on, because he comes in the nighttime. The basement light is on, and there is a chair, because Tess, when she was going downstairs, to avoid the door will lock automatically, she puts one chair in front of the door to prevent to locking itself. The first thing he does, he goes back there and collect the chair, picks the chair up, and then he slam the door closed. And he comes inside and then realizes this is not normal. Some lights are on, and then there's a stuff in the bathroom. When he goes inside the bathroom to pee there, and he notices there is a travel shower bag with items there on the sink basin, and he feels weird. Who could put the stuff like this? And he comes out and looks in the room. There is a suitcase, and he knows somebody is really living here. And he calls the Bonnie management, and he asks them, hey, I see there's if anybody is living here. She says, no, for a few weeks, no, nobody's living there. We never rent it out to anybody. And she, no, there's somebody's living here. There's some kind of stuff there. And then she explains, no, we don't. And he is angry. He said, what kind of this system is? And this looks like a trash. And she says, this looks like a trash. I mean, what kind of system is this? You even don't know somebody's looking. There's a stuff in there. And then she hangs up in anger. Now he starts to investigate whoever the stuff belonged to. He opens the suitcase, tries to find out where the clothes are, and then there is one backpack. He opens the backpack and there is a laptop inside. He gets a laptop, and then he opens the laptop and there is a name, Tess. Okay, now he thinks, what could the password? He tries to inject the password, which obviously it denies, and throws the laptop on a side. And he thinks, what is this? What is going on? Anyways, he goes to bed and wakes up in the morning and goes to the bathroom, uses the bathroom. As he sits on the floor, his eyesight goes to the electric toothbrush, which is still charging it. And this time he decides to investigate seriously. He grabs a cup of coffee, he pours the coffee and he drinks it, and he sits on the chair, and there's a car key. He grabs the car key, swing it, and then he leans back and turns right. His mind goes to the basement, and there is something, maybe somebody is in the basement. He moves to basement, he opens the door, and he calls, anybody here? Hello? And there's a big sound, boom. Now that is creepy, makes him alert. Something or somebody is downstairs. He warns whoever is it, I have a gun and I give you 30 seconds. Come out or I will come down. I have a gun in my hand, but he doesn't receive any reply. He comes up. And he gets in the kitchen, tries to find something. He gets a kitchen knife and puts it with the belt, and he gets ready. Okay, and then you're in my house, and then you're playing with me. I'm gonna get you. He gets down into the basement with the knife, and slowly he gets down into the basement looking for somebody, and he discovers the same rope. He pulls the rope and the door opens. And this time he decides to search the area. And he's also scared actually. And then as he goes inside, and he discovers there is like a tunnel getting long way inside. He comes up and he starts to search, because he's already trying to sell his property, and he search if the basement area is also counts to sell the property. Is he can, or he calculates everything, and then it can be somehow he realizes that yes, this is part of his property and he can sell. Now this time he gets his inchy tape, or I don't know what is the American English. That's an inchy tape. It's like a metal which can extend, and then he grabs that and goes down and start to measure the area. He keeps measuring and keeps going down. At one point he reaches where the cages are situated there. Once he reached there, and he has already seen the bed with the camera tripod, and already crossed, and he went too far inside, and he discovers one small room with a TV set, and there is a sheet on the floor. And on the TV set he sees a woman is breastfeeding a baby, and then he feels very weird, and then now he believes somebody is living here. As he's thinking, as many thoughts are hitting his brain, suddenly the tape has somebody's pulling, and he's shaking hand. He is terrified, and somebody is pulling, and then suddenly somebody, and the tape is gone. And then he grabs a knife, and then like he's and he drops his knife on the floor. He is that terrified, and then he realizes somebody is running towards him, and he grabs his light, and then he runs opposite direction. He goes inside, he runs, and then suddenly he hit something, and he fell into a cage. There is one hole dug into in the ground. That is a creepy. As he fell down, he has a big cut because of his own knife, and there's a blood is dripping. And then the first thing he sees, Tess is sitting there terrified, and as he going to scream, Tess puts her hand to his mouth to stop him. Shh. And he says he has so many questions in his mind. She asks him to stop, and he wants to know wherever he is. Now the woman is approaching, and then Tess is explaining to him, you do not make her upset. He doesn't understand anything because he's scared. Suddenly there's a feeder with a milk and a very dirty nipple on it. And then Tess asks him, as AJ, to drink it. And he says, no, I'm not. There's no way I'm gonna drink this stuff. And then she keeps asking him to drink it. He refuses. And then this time the woman, the crazy woman, she gives that milk bottle to Tess, which she drinks. As she drinks, so remember there's a TV set in the room and there's a woman, she's breastfeeding. So she has this kind of psychic, maybe she wants to have her own babies. She's playing this kind of thing. Psychologically she's sick, and then she wants to like a role playing to pretend as a mother. She is taking them as her child or children. Anyways, the next thing she does, she opens the cage and jump. There, that is very scary. Scary scene. She gets close to AJ.
Oh, God!
She grabs his leg and pulls him out, and then drags him outside, and then drags him to that room where the TV set, and then she wants to teach him, look at the TV set, you idiot, this is what I'm trying to do to you. I'm trying to feed you. And this is on the same time, this is funny and this is scary. And he is freaked out. He's looking at the TV set, and then he's confused. And the same time, Tess had a chance. She wants to get out of that hole. She has a torch which AJ left there. She gets that torch into her pocket, and then she tries to jump, and then she successfully comes out from that hole, and then she runs. She knows where to run, where is the exit. She runs to that direction. As she already crossed that room, that the crazy woman, she is busy to educate Mr. AJ that this is what she wants to do to him. Tess has crossed that area. Suddenly she hears that the inch tape, that the measurement tape, which is metal, and that creates sound that alerts that crazy woman. Now crazy woman leaves AJ there and runs towards that sound. Now she knows already Tess is out. She's running towards the exit. She grabs that bucket and then put that bucket near the window. Remember where she handed over the key to Keith. She stands there, and then with the torch she breaks the window. Luckily, when she's getting out, that man who was screaming to her, "Hey little girl, don't get into the house, get out of the house," he is there, luckily, and he helps her to grab her arms to pull her out of the window. And then on the nick of time, with exact great timing, she's out, and that crazy woman, she grabs her hand to the window, and then she cannot reach, and she's safe. And the crazy woman looks at Tess, and then she gets back in a dungeon. Now, where is AJ? Nobody knows where is AJ. Tess is out already. And then man who came to help her, he explains to her, "You cannot go inside that house. There's a crazy woman is living there. And then that's a bad place to go inside." And she said, "There's a man inside. We need to help him. We need to get him out. Do not go inside. Just save your life and then run." And then she insists, "No, we need to call him." He said he doesn't have any cell phone. She decides to go in the town, find some police or find anybody or report to the police. And then he says, "Okay, you go, never come back. Because in the nighttime, this crazy one gets out, and then she will find you. If she finds you, she's gonna kill you." Now Tess runs. She is having very dirty, her clothes are very dirty, she is in a very bad situation, and then she looks like a homeless person. She successfully reaches to one petrol gas station, and there is She asked somebody at the gas station to call the police. She reports there, and then she waits there for the police. Police comes there, and then first thing they ask him, do you have an ID? And then she said, no, of course I don't have the ID. I was captivated, I escaped. And then she asked them to go there, that house, and help her, and help. There is a man stuck there, she's gonna kill him. Police, however, they reach there and then tries to open the door. Her keys are inside, her stuff is inside, but the door is locked from inside. She tries to break, and they stop her. They said that this is not your house, you cannot break in, you are violating the law. She is very angry, she is frustrated, and then they left. They leave that space, they leave the location, make her very upset. Now it's getting dark, it's getting very dark. However, she gets inside, she breaks the window, she gets inside and grabs her keys. Tess rushes to her jeep in panic. She starts the engine and waits for the crazy woman to get out of the house. She is holding the steering wheel very tightly. All of a sudden, there is a burst slamming sound. The woman gets out of the house. 6 feet tall, naked woman screaming in rage, looking at Tess in anger. She hits the gas. Car moves suddenly. The woman, she runs towards the car, and there's a slam. The car is slammed to the wall. The woman is in between the car and the wall. She is in pain. She is losing her strength. She is losing her energy, but she is keep struggling. She's keep hitting the windshield. The windshield is breaking piece by piece. And in a minute, the crazy woman, she is completely motionless. She realizes that she's not gonna get her from this situation. She opens the door and rushes back to the house. Tess is running downstairs into the tunnel. She is looking for AJ, if AJ is still alive. On the other hand, when Tess was running and AJ was captured by that woman, the woman, she left AJ there and started to chase Tess to the exit. And after a while, AJ started to realize wherever he is. He runs in panic, and there is a dark tunnel until he finds one room with small light in it. He enters the room and sees there are some shelves. There is a shelf filled with the VHS tapes. He gets there and he discovers each tape, the cassette, video cassette, has a label on it, and on each label there is a woman name. Out of his curiosity, he is terrified, he is frightened, but he also wants to know what is going on around his surroundings. He takes one cassette, he takes out from the shelf, and then he puts in the VCR, which is located beneath the shelf with a very old TV set. When he plays the video, he realizes this is a place where hundreds of women have been raped here and murdered here. Suddenly he hears the cuff sound. He looks back. There is an old man, very old, sick man who has a gun in his hand. And he said, no. And all of a sudden he takes the gun to his temple and he pulls the trigger. Pow! No, wait! And he ends his life. AJ is like he's in trauma. He loses his all consciousness. And then when he realizes whatever happened in front of his eyes, a man just committed suicide, took his own life, he takes the gun and he rushed outside of that room and disappear into the dark tunnels. And on the other hand, Tess is going down in the dark tunnels, and she's looking for AJ, and AJ is looking for the exit. He doesn't know if Tess is already died or she is still survived. He is looking for the exit. Tess is looking for AJ, and there is a sound, and he thinks the woman is approaching to him. He takes the gun.
Hello?
And Tess is on the ground.
Oh my God.
He's in panic. He gets close to Tess. Oh my God, what I've done. And luckily Tess is alive. And then he grabs her, and then both come out of the house. She asks him, where's your car? He says, yeah, the car is there, and I'm not gonna get inside this house, that crazy woman. And because the woman is already gone, he has a gun, and Tess is, both are struggling to walk, and then they walk in a direction until they see that man who rescued Tess before. Now this is almost the end of the story. That man asked them to come to his location. He's a homeless guy, so there is a broken fence. He pulls up the fence, and the fence, how to say, they get inside and they sit around the fire. AJ asks, what is going on? Homeless man, he explains, she lives there for 40 years. What do you mean 40 years? I own that house. He says, maybe you own by the papers, but this is our daddy's house. They live in that house, and the daddy, that man, grabs so many women there, and then make baby, and then copy by copy and copy, and then ends up this kind of crazy woman. And then he realizes, wow, okay, that's scary. And then he says that, don't worry, you're safe here. And then they discuss how to report, and he said, okay, you should stay here till morning, and in the morning you can go, and because this is a safe location, she cannot come here. As he says, the crazy woman comes from behind. She's naked, and then she grabs him, the homeless person, and he pulls his arm and get apart, and his arm is already detached from its body, and she takes that arm and she keeps hitting that arm to the man. Man is dead. And then by this time, both AJ and Tess, they find one water tank tower. There is a staircase. AJ runs to the staircase, and then Tess follows him. He has a gun, and he plans when he reaches the rooftop, so he can have a bird eye view, so he can see that crazy woman if she is following them, so he can shoot her. Same happens. So they are up, and the crazy woman following them, she's also on the staircase. She pulls the gun, and again, just like he drops his knife, and then he drops the gun. The gun is already on the floor. Now he is empty-handed. He has only one idea left, as Tess is also on the top of the water tank staircase, both of them there waiting for the crazy woman to encounter them. Crazy woman comes, and he thinks for a while, and then he grabs Tess' arm, pushes her in the air. Grab your child, grab your baby. When crazy woman, she sees what happened, she jumps and reaches before Tess and becomes her cushion. This is weird. I had so many questions. How it is possible when there is a camera from the top, from the aerial shot, it shows it's a huge distance from the water tank to the main road. Anyways, the crazy woman is on the road. Tess is on the top of the crazy woman, and he goes, oh my god. He goes down and reaches to them, and then when he grabs the gun, Tess is moving, and he realizes Tess is alive, and oh my god, you're alive. And then he tries to explain. He tries to explain to Tess, hey, you know what? I didn't have any choice. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to kill you. I didn't mean to push you. So I didn't have any choice. Now you're alive. Now you're alive. Everything is okay. I'm gonna get you. As he going to grab Tess, crazy woman, she opens her eyes, grabs his neck, and then Mr. AJ is in air, and she uses her two thumbs, her nails, in his eyeballs, and then rip apart his skull. And that is okay. That is a horror movie, okay? And then Mr. AJ is gone forever. And now Tess and the crazy woman left behind. Now Tess grabs the gun. The crazy woman believes that she is her baby. Okay. First of all, she asks her, go inside. Tess says, no, I cannot go inside. And then crazy woman, somehow she realizes, okay, this is her end time has come. So why not give her a kiss for the last time? And she pulls the trigger, and that's the end. Oh my god, that was actually, movie is very interesting. You gotta see that. And this was beautifully shot, produced, and when I was seeing, it has so many awards. So on the IMDb rating is 7. If I also give the score out of 10, I will give also 7. The budget of the movie was 4.5 million, but in USA on September 11, 2022, US and Canada, it made like 40 million, 10 million something on the first weekend. And the gross in US and Canada, it made like 40 million, and worldwide gross, it made like 45 million, which is a huge. This is really, really huge. So you can imagine how beautifully it has been. It's been produced, and it was released on the Netflix as well. So because of Netflix, more people around the world, they came to know the work of Zach Cregger, which is beautifully done. So this was today's episode on the movie review, or movie recap and review. Out of those shocking mystery crime stories, horror stories, I'm gonna also cover movie reviews, especially the horror and thrillers. So if you're a fan of shocking, mysterious, dark and true crimes and the movie reviews, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And as always, please take care of yourself and your surrounding. I'm Uzar Sipra. Until next time.